Yeah, I think I'm live on YouTube also. Yeah, I think we've gone live.
Okay, great. So, welcome, sir.
Hi, well, Vishal, always a
On
pleasure to interact with you.
uh, Same here. So, to all of you who are watching us live on Zoom or on YouTube, I welcome you all to this session. This session is about why MBA and which exams to target, especially after this. The man himself is here. I mean, Arun Sharma sir needs no introduction. Still, I'll try my level best. He's an author of CAT Bibles, such as Quantitative Aptitude by Arun Sharma. He's a top educator at Unacademy, and we are so lucky to have Arun Sharma sir with us on an Unacademy platform, and so grateful of him of joining with us. Uh, so, sir, let me just walk you through how the be structured. So, we'll discuss about the very basic questions that most of the aspirants have. Why MBA? And which particular specialization, what sort of preparations they have to do, and going forward, we'll take up questions as well as and when we'll be getting the questions in the QA section,
Definitely.
and towards the end we're gonna see if there any any particular participant wants to interact with us, then we're gonna have a one-on-one discussions as well, and yeah, I mean that's it. So let's just start with the the very basic question that most of the aspirants have. Why a particular student who is studying in, because the aspirants or the learners that have joined us in this call are mostly engineering student, who are in either second year, third year, or fourth year of their colleges. So what would you suggest? Why they should go for an MBA, and why should they think of an MBA as a career choice? And yeah, I mean, let's just start with that only.
So, Vishal, there are many. I mean, there are many layers to this answer. Actually, there are three, four
Yeah.
ways in which you can actually think about what you want to do. And for me, I also built in my own story because I was also an engineer. So doing my engineering in my final year when I decided to take CAT. So at that time, the option first the first layer to this decision is what are your optional options areas. So typically, if you look at a career, you are when you're planning a career, which direction you want to go, you'll want to talk about a 30-year timeline. That's what you need to plan for. And typically for an engineering student, there are two broad options. He continues in his technical field. That's one broad option. He goes into a general field, which is where an MBA can help him. Or third, of course, he can he can try to go into the in Indian context. He can try to get into government jobs, etc., and move into that sphere, get into IAS kind of exam, etc. So broadly, three lines दिखते हैं यहाँ पे मतलब as an engineer and as an engineering student when you talk about the future. And of course, I'm not talking about what profession you're looking at. I'm talking about what do you do immediately in the 3 to 5 years. Because profession for later, you can be an entrepreneur even after becoming an IS officer. Roman himself is
Correct.
that, right? Or you
Correct.
can be an entrepreneur after being an MBA also, and you can be an
Right.
entrepreneur after being an engineer, and you can go into any careers with all three, right? So
Right.
so we'll keep that part a little bit later. So first part पहले इधर देखते हैं. So typically, if you have really enjoyed it, I mean, the first fundamental of being successful in life is to be spending your career on things that you enjoyed or that you enjoy. और तुम्हारी लाइफ में अगर enjoyment नहीं है, वो passion नहीं है जो अपने काम में, तो then I think you will be always underperforming in whatever job or whatever role you go. So for me at that point when I was doing my final engineering, third year engineering, when I decided for an MBA, I was not feeling that passion for my mechanical engineering that I was doing. That passion, that connect was not happening for me. So if that connect is not happening, then obviously you have to get out of that this thing, because just because I took mechanical engineering at 17 years old age does not mean that I'm married to it for the rest of my life. कि शादी तो नहीं कर लिया ना, मतलब कि पैदा लिए थे तो मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर बनना था मेरे को. So it's not
Absolutely.
like that. So it is something. I mean, with you and today's career also, there's so much change, and next 30 years going to have there's going to be so much change that the more equidistant you keep from one particular field, you will be better off. And MBA allows you to do that, because once you do an MBA, your job options completely they kind of explode. The industries explode. The kind of industries you can go to, the kind of companies you can go to, the kind of career tracks you can have, the kind of work you can do, it completely explodes. Which I mean, ऐसे तो कहने के लिए इंजीनियर को भी कोई रोक नहीं सकता कुछ भी काम करने के लिए. But then that social pressure of having a job, and the kind of jobs you will get after engineering will be very very, either your core subject पे job मिलेगा, which is rare nowadays to find, मतलब बहुत लोग को तो नहीं मिलता है उस पर. और दूसरा उसका दूसरा फ्लिप साइड हो जाता है कि you are getting a job out of your a job in the IT sector, right? So that is again a big question mark. मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग करना किया, सिविल इंजीनियरिंग किया, IT सेक्टर में क्यों चले गए, right? Only because you had a job. And then that sector has its own advantages, its own career tracks, and its own this thing. I'm not saying it's a bad sector. If you like that, if you like coding, and you want to get into that, want to remain technical in life, and want to be in the technical field, by all means go there, right? So it's not, I'm not saying कि यही करना चाहिए, but these are the first level decisions that you start taking. So in that context, then when you talk about, okay, first of all, you also need to take the decision कि are you happy with just being an engineer, or you are looking at higher education. तो अगर हायर एजुकेशन में जा रहे हो तो फिर दो ही चीज़ हो जाते हैं, टेक्निकल हायर एजुकेशन विद एन एमटेक, or a GRE kind of thing, and going into an MS, and then coming to an MBA. So there are three broad directions you have. So I advise कि अगर तुमको बहुत मज़ा आया इंजीनियरिंग में, जो कि आई थिंक इज़ रेयर, बहुत इंडियन कॉन्टेक्स्ट में काफ़ी रेयर है वो. अगर बहुत मज़ा आया इंजीनियरिंग में और उसमें तुमको मन लग रहा है कि यू वांट डू दैट, देन बाय ऑल मीन्स गो अहेड. Otherwise, even if I look back at my batchmates who went into the technical track, so ultimately 5 years, 7 years, 10 years down the line, they did go and do an MBA. They did an executive MBA or whatever.
That's exactly what my follow-up question was. So, even after, let's suppose if you decide to pursue your career in technical field, be it in mechanical engineering or computer science or information technology, somewhere down the line, around 4-5 years down the line,
वो करना ही पड़ेगा.
like there are some restrictions there, or maybe you're not.
There'll be a glass ceiling in the organization also, where there are very few organizations who will give you CEO position as only an engineer, right? So, and it's not just about skills; it's also about your networking and so many other things. First of all, your personal finishing as a person, which our engineering colleges unfortunately don't do. So a professional MBA course will actually give you a lot of value in terms of this thing. So if you look at the throughput of an engineering college, person entering an engineering college versus person exiting an engineering college, most of what he learns is mostly because of the friends he makes and the people around him. The college and the environment does not teach him. Maybe there are few exceptions like IITs and all जहाँ पे वो change कर जाता है, but एक normal अगर engineering college है वहाँ पे वो throughput नहीं होता है. But if you look at a person entering an MBA, a good MBA college, and a person exiting that college, you will see that there's a huge differential there's a huge delta that the college creates. That a good training program creates in terms of your skills. And ultimately, you will be evaluated for your skills and what you take with yourself. Then the brand and all that will wash off after some time. If you are not worthy of doing well in an industry, you will not do well, whether you have done engineering or MBA. So the first agenda then becomes, because you need to add value to yourself. One. Then the other factor to this, I told you there are 2-3 layers to this answer. So let me just finish off the other layers.
Right.
The second layer is why you decide to do an MBA. As I said, it allows you, the big advantage it has, that it allows you to actually experiment with your life. अब as a mechanical engineer, जब मैं खुद पास आउट कर रहा था, the advice was कि बेटा कोई जॉब मिल जाए तो पकड़ के लटक जाना, उसमें 5 साल 10 साल काम कर लेना. Right? Because you're not going to get too many jobs in that, so you build a profile in that job, and then 5 years later, other competing companies of that industry will do well for you, will give you an opportunity. But when we are passing out of MBA, Our profs used to tell us कि if you are just passing, if you are fresher and passing out, then please experiment with your life for next 5 years. 28-30 साल तक, मतलब 5-7 साल तक तुम जॉब चेंज करो, इंडस्ट्री चेंज करो, और वो अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल जाता है. सो यू हैव यू सी द डाइवर्सिटी. ठीक है, you have an Harsha Bogle who became a cricket commentator out of IIM Ahmedabad. You have a Raghuram Rajan who became an IIM B, he became a RBI governor,
Yeah.
and Chetan Bhagat who became a novelist, and me who became a cat trainer. So you have all kinds. You get that experimentation, and what I mean, you can of course also experiment after engineering. But what this gives you is that it gives you a soft landing. This thing. कि चलो कुछ नहीं हुआ तो I'll go get back. As an IIM grad or as a top B school grad, मैं फिर से बायोडाटा डालूंगा, मेरे को जॉब मिल जाएगा. Which is very difficult in without that professional degree. So that's the second part, and the third part is the long-term aspect. As I said, if you're not qualified from one of the top engineering colleges of the country, एक point आएगा जिसके बाद तुमको glass ceiling दिखने लगेगी. People will not allow you to go ahead beyond that because all the CEOs and all this thing, they come from some pedigree with respect to the college that they have come. So I tell my students and I tell everybody who cares to listen to me, and that tribe is growing, people who care to listen to me. So I tell them that एक great college में पहुंच जाओ लाइफ में. जितना कचरा किया लाइफ में अपने 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 पास्ट करियर में सब खत्म हो जाएगा. जिस दिन मैं IIM बैंगलोर चला गया, people stopped asking me 10th में परसेंटेज क्या था, 12th में परसेंटेज क्या था, स्कूल में मैं कैसा स्टूडेंट था. Everybody assumed I must have been brilliant, which was not the case. I was a very fatru kind of student right through school, college. And the day I went to IIM Bangalore, they assumed that I must have been a topper. So पूरा कचरा जो मैंने 20 साल में किया था सब एक शॉट में धुल गया. So you have to plan that. So that's the third layer to it. So one great college, even if you're planning a technical degree, go to a great college.
From your personal experiences, I mean, somebody who's from IIM Bangalore is saying all this. I'm sure many aspirants who feel like they will not be able to crack an IIM or a CAT exam. I'm sure उनका morale जरूर boost हुआ होगा after listening to this answer.
Yeah, that's. I mean, देखो, you can pick up your life anytime. That's the philosophy I tell people. जिस दिन तुम जाग गए उस दिन से सुबह हो गई, and just start walking.
Right.
But एक fundamental एक फंडा रखना, जो भी करोगे आगे, make sure that you keep one funda that अब से जो काम करूँगा उसको excellently करूँगा. I'll not allow mediocrity as part of my actions, because the moment you start allowing mediocrity, कुछ भी करो, you start compromising on your outcomes. और तुम्ही को सबसे ज़्यादा इफेक्ट तुम्ही को पड़े. शॉर्ट टर्म में लगेगा कि मैं बहुत चालाक हूँ, कम काम करके आगे बढ़ जा रहा हूँ, बट लॉन्ग टर्म में द इफेक्ट विल बी इनकैलकुलेबल.
Sir, continuing the same line of questioning, so we have discussed why.
I hope it's going live on YouTube. It's fine.
Next question most of the aspirants have is, okay, now we have decided, okay, there's a.
Your voice is breaking.
Sorry, sir, your voice is cracking.
Your voice is also cracking.
Okay, so can you hear me now?
Yeah. I think we are loud and clear.
Great. So just taking the next line of next question. So after a student decides, let's say, okay, now he is or she is motivated enough to go for an MBA. Next question comes in their mind, okay, which specialization to choose from. In engineering, we have separate specializations, especially like computer science. We all have different departments like computer science, IT, mechanical, and so on and so forth. But do we really need to choose a specialization?
That's the exact answer to the question, actually.
Okay.
Because
so if you can elaborate, what should be the correct approach towards choosing any particular specialization?
So it's very different
from finance and
marketing. It's very different from what you did in engineering. Engineering, first year, before you joined, you knew that you were doing computer engineering. But when you talk about an MBA, what happens is 5% of the courses or colleges want you to pre-decide which specialization you're coming for. So it's around 5% who decide that, or who are strict about that. Just SP Jain sometimes asks you that.
Sir,
yeah.
So your voice is still breaking. It's not consistent.
Voice is breaking again.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just go closer to the modem. Maybe I'll try to do that. Am I better now?
Yeah, much better, sir.
So I've sat as close to the modem as possible. Yeah.
Okay. Yes,
So
sir. We were discussing the specializations.
yeah. So what I was saying was, unlike engineering, where you have to take a call on day one, whether you like it or not, and then you are stuck to that specialization. What an MBA does is the first year of an MBA is mostly general. It's a general course, so everybody does the same thing in the first year.
Okay.
So what happens because of that is that you are typically asked to choose your specialization only in the second year. So we had this question when we entered IIM Bangalore, and I can tell you the IIM seniors advice
Right.
in this, which I think has been continuing for the last 25 years, because we heard it from our seniors and then we passed it on to our juniors. तो जब हम लोग
Right.
वहाँ पहुँचे तो when we met our seniors, first question was कौन सा स्पेशलाइजेशन लें. तो दे ऑल सेट कि रिलैक्स, एक साल पहले पढ़ लो ठीक से. अभी यू जस्ट नो मार्केटिंग एंड फाइनेंस एज वर्ड्स, तुमको कोई कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं पता है. फर्स्ट ईयर पढ़ो, समझ में आएगा क्या होता है, सर पैर पता चलेगा मार्केटिंग क्या होता है, फाइनेंस क्या होता है. एंड देन आफ्टर द एंड ऑफ द फर्स्ट ईयर डिसाइड दैट कि तुमको क्या करना है. So except for very rare courses which, or you might have a predisposition sometimes. जैसे कोई
Right.
बीकॉम ग्रेजुएट है उसको predisposition है कि मेरे को फाइनेंस ही करना है, तो उस तरह predisposition हो सकता है थोड़ा बहुत, especially if you have studied those subjects. BBA or BCom students will have some predisposition, but
Right.
engineers, if you are talking about a group of engineers who's in this webinar, so they should not worry too much about this, except for the colleges which specifically ask कि आप marketing के लिए apply कर रहे हैं कि finance के लिए कर रहे हैं. So there are few colleges, maybe around, yeah, if you think about the pool of colleges and courses, at 200, 300 good colleges and courses available, maybe 5 or 7 of them will ask you that,
Okay.
right? So you can have a small predisposition. Anyway, I think during your preparation you should do a few courses around management also from these free websites like edX or
Okay.
Coursera. तो उससे थोड़ा predisposition हो जाएगा, समझ में आ जाएगा what you're liking to study. And the thumb
Okay.
rule is basically you have to go into an area which you enjoy.
Right. And the next question in this would be, okay, if you're talking about, let's say, especially from engineers' perspective, if you're not thinking about any particular specialization, then which particular B schools we should definitely target? Like most of the engineers or most of the CAT aspirants know that IIMs are the best. But apart from IIMs, what are the other B schools that that are also good? And do these business schools have any particular specialization which they are good at, or any particular general management course will also do? So in your opinion, what are the top 20, or let's say what are the top 15 colleges that every CAT aspirant or every person should be looking at?
Yeah, so when you're looking at IIMs, of course, you're looking at IIMs in 3 categories, four
Okay.
categories actually. You're
Okay.
looking at ABC, then you're looking at what is called as Blackie, which is Lucknow, Kozhikode, and Indore also.
Right.
Then you're looking at the new IIMs, which include IIMs like Ranchi and Bodh Gaya and other places. And then you're looking at baby IIMs.
Okay.
So the baby IIMs are the ones which have just started in this thing. So
Right.
IIMs you should categorize in 4 parts, and then you decide which is your based on your abilities, your profiles of the past exams that you've taken, etc. You can try to think of what is your aspirational colleges. So for some students, especially those who have also got a decent academic background, and those who have that ability to crack, or they have that ability to learn how to crack CAT, if you can actually cross that 99 plus percentile, you should only look at ABC, and along with ABC, then there are 4 5 more colleges outside IIMs that you should look at as aspirational. They include XLRI, which is a definite must, as good as ABC. Then you got Jamnal Bajaj, and maybe an SPJ and an MDI. But SPJ and MDI will also then start being equal to LKI, the second category of IIMs.
Okay.
So ABC LKI हो गया, right? उसके बाद SPJ हो गया, XLRA हो गया. Now when you talk about specific courses, XLRA, then IFT is also there for foreign trade.
Right.
So IFT
International
is the number
business.
one institute for foreign trade if you're interested in that,
Correct.
international business and foreign trade. Then you've got XLRA has a great personal management course. It's the number one PMIR course in the country. So if you
Right.
want to specialize in HR, then going to an IIM से better है कि you go to an XLRI
Right.
PMR. You would leave an IIM Ahmedabad over PMR. Then there are
Right.
sector specific courses also, institutes like IRMA. I've had at
Okay.
least a few. I mean, I can remember at least 5-10 students of mine
Mm-hmm.
who did not take an IIM Ahmedabad offer and went to IRMA because they were
Okay.
very clear about impacting rural management and being in that
Right.
field. So that is again, it was a very surprising decision for a lot of people when they hear कि I am Ahmedabad छोड़ के इरमा चला गया, but there were people who had that logic, right? And then now the IIMs also are coming up with multiple courses. For example, IIM Bangalore has a PG SEM course,
Mm-hmm.
postgraduate whatever in software enterprise management. So do a
SEM,
little
yeah.
bit of, yeah. So that's very good for people who especially engineers, then who are wanting to get into software and not just as coders but actually as managers and leaders of that industry. Then you've got NITI, which is a very high quality institute for special again for engineers. So NITI only takes
It's
engineers.
for it's known for operations, if I'm
Yeah,
not
it's known for operations and it's at 97, 98 percentile college. You will not get this and the placements and the career track records of people passing out of NITI are very similar to IIM ABCL kind of pass outs. And
great.
then you also have the IITs, right? So it's become a huge this thing. So the good part is that I mean I tell students that you are so fortunate because in 2008, 2007, 2012 years ago,
Right.
the number of aspirants were 2.5, 3 lakhs for MBA colleges, and you only had the six IIMs.
Right.
IITs
Right.
also had just started their courses and they were not established, and now the number of seats has gone up 5 times almost. Even if you look at high quality institutes,
Right.
number
Right.
of seats has gone up
And
5 times, and the number of candidates is now down to 2 lakhs. So your
right.
chances of
So the
actually getting
chances
into
of getting into a top colleges has
is
increased a
much
lot.
better. Yeah, and this is again, some people become very sad about the fact that IIM Ahmedabad wants 80% in 10th and 12th, etc. They look at past academics and I don't have it. So this is not
Right.
something where you get stuck onto कि IIM Ahmedabad ही जाऊंगा नहीं तो कुछ नहीं होगा मेरे लाइफ में. This is not like an IAS एग्जाम कि एक बार IAS बन गए तो ही तुम्हारा you will become secretary to गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, और तुम अगर IPS बन गए तो तुम पुलिस में ही जाओगे, और तुम IRS बने तो इनकम टैक्स में ही रहोगे. This is like you can be from a third level institute, and if you're performing well in the corporate sector in your industry and you become a impact player in that industry, so 10 years ago
Right.
you might be the boss of hundreds of IIM graduates. Nothing stops that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you just need to get into the top 15 or 20 colleges,
Yes.
depending upon your profile and depending upon
Yeah,
your
yeah.
score.
Look at a college which will give you value add, the delta in the value
Right.
addition, more than the brand of the college. So there are so many hidden gems of colleges. Like there's an exam Bhubaneswar, which
Right.
used to be a 95, 96, 97 percentile college earlier. But
Right.
because the new IIMs and baby IIMs have filled that space and IITs have filled that space, that college has gone to 91, 92. So colleges which were at 90, 92 have gone down to 85, 86 because these 96 percentile colleges are filling the 91, 92 slots. So it's become easier to get in and to get into a great course. And as I said, make sure that here on in you whatever you do, you have to have that philosophy that I'm going to, my bottom line is going to be excellence.
Right. Right.
राइट,
Right.
तुमने जो
Right.
भी कचरा किया लाइफ में कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. लास्ट लास्ट 2 साल में एक्सेलेंस एग्जीक्यूट कर लो, सडनली यू विल गेट पिच फोक्ड इन द बेस्ट ऑफ योर जनरेशन, एंड देन यू विल बी अ लीडर फॉर द फ्यूचर. और
Right.
20 साल काम करो, 20 साल में फाइनेंशियल फ्रीडम क्रिएट कर लो, एंड देन डू व्हाट यू वांट.
Awesome, awesome. To all of the people who are watching us live, guys, if you have any question, keep on posting in the Q&A section. Okay. Towards the end of the webinar, we'll be answering each and every questions, but we can take up the questions in between the session as well. So, okay. Moving forward, sir. Now we have discussed, which particular B schools we should target. So throw some. Can you please throw some light on which particular exams a person should be looking at? So as you said, there are specific institutes for special courses like XLR is good for HR, then it is good for ops operations. So what are the various exams the Indian MBA market has, and typically an MBA aspirant in India, what exam he or she should be targeting at?
So typical exams, the top exams of course are CAT and XAT. These two exams are must take according to what I this thing. I tell people then the next level of exams, CAT XAT, for a lot of people IFT is also must take.
Okay.
So these three exams you have to give. A lot of people don't take that, which I think is a mistake, because as
Okay.
I told you, you go to IIM ABC or you go to XLRA, you get the same careers in life. So what happens is why it's a mistake I feel is because if you're only giving one exam during the year, if you're only giving one exam during the year, तो क्या होता है कि तुम्हारा पूरा pressure during the date of the exam. And CAT, when you prepare for CAT, it's not just about skill. This is another mistake a lot of people make कि सिर्फ skill पे काम कर लिए साल भर, और CAT is about skill and performance.
Right.
राइट तो इंडियन क्रिकेट टीम का स्किल कम तो नहीं हो गया जब 36 पे ऑल आउट हो गए. स्किल तो है ही वहाँ पे ना. द स्किल इज स्टिल
Right.
देयर, बट ऑन दैट डे परफॉर्मेंस इज पैथेटिक. सो इट्स अबाउट skill and performance. So if you are only putting all your eggs in the cat basket, what happens is you are very high strung for performance on that day, and then pressure will start affecting you and you'll do badly in the exam. So that's why you
Right.
should at least take 3 bites of that apple with CAT, XAT, and IFT. Then the other next level of exams are SNAP and MAT.
Okay.
For
Okay.
Narsi Monji, Narsi Monji is also a great college, Bombay based. Also
Right.
it's got other centers also. And एक चीज़ और बहुत लोग पूछते हैं मेरे से, which I also want to tell everybody who is listening in and who will watch this video later on YouTube or wherever it is shared. A lot of people ask me, just for example, 10 12 years ago, IFT started an IFT Kolkata branch.
Right.
So the first 2 3 years, everybody is asking me, should I go to IFT Kolkata? Will it be this thing? I'm not considering it. I don't think I should go there. It's below my par, etc. So just remember this: uh, a B school, a reputed B school, opening a branch is not like a coaching institute opening its branch. कि वो succeed करेगा कि नहीं करेगा. वो
Right.
they would have committed the resources. They would have committed. They are playing a long term game.
Right.
So 5-10 साल में वो बी स्कूल का नाम मतलब then now people are talking to me about IFT Dharwad जाओगे ना. Then the third center that IFT is bringing up. Nobody asked me about Calcutta because now they know the Calcutta is good. तो वो सेम चीज़ हो जाएगा उस कॉलेज में भी. So what this also provides an opportunity कि even if you don't perform very well, you go to a great branded college into one of its lower selling courses or lower aspired for courses in the new this thing, and that college is going to go up anyway. Now imagine IIM Bangalore. Can you imagine people did not want to go to IIM Bangalore?
No, I cannot
1980s,
imagine actually.
1980s, IIM Bangalore was
Yeah.
supposed to be the PSU MBA.
Oh my God.
Ahmedabad, Calcutta were much.
Okay.
Ahmedabad, Calcutta started in 1962-63,
60.
60s. IIM Bangalore started in 1973.
Okay.
So everybody is saying IIM Bangalore to नया है, right? And 1980s में IIM Bangalore was christened as the PSU IIM. कि IIM Bangalore जाओगे तो PSU में जॉब लगेगी और बाकी अच्छे जॉब नहीं मिलेंगे वहाँ पे. So imagine somebody passed out in IIM Bangalore from IIM Bangalore in 1980. His career would
Right.
have played out from 1980 to 2020, 40-year career,
But
30-40-year career. So how would his brand have been, or how would the college brand be by the time he was 95, 97, 98? When he got into a time when people did not want to get in.
correct.
Right? I am Lucknow had the same this thing. When I went to my I am Lucknow interview, when I gave my CAT for the first time, can you believe it? 5 people turned up out of 12 in the GD.
Okay.
And it was not just my group, it was a phenomenon across all the I am Lucknow GDPI
GDPR
sessions
program.
around that time. I don't know, नॉर्थ इंडिया में शायद ज़्यादा लोग आते होंगे, लेकिन बॉम्बे में मेरा इंटरव्यू था और 5 लोग आए थे, 7 लोग एब्सेंट थे in the GD. They did not consider it worth it to कि I am Lucknow के GD और इंटरव्यू जाके दें. So you will
Right.
always remember this, that colleges will, I mean the good colleges will always grow their brand over a period of
Yeah.
time. right?
They're putting a lot of resources and they're putting a lot of effort in making them
Yeah,
brand
yeah,
grow.
and they follow
So
through completely. So
it's their reputation as well on the stake. So
so have a large this thing, and make sure that you are, again, the whole objective is which college gives you your value add, and from where you can play your game from there.
right. Okay, so after the discussion for this, which particular exams we should target, my next question is very, very particular about students. So, who should go for an MBA? And the criteria says, you should be an undergrad student or you should be a graduate student. You must have completed your BTech at the time when you are going to enter a particular B school. But in terms of actual valuation, who do you think will benefit the most from an MBA course? What are the chances for engineers? What are the chances BA, B graduates, arts background people, somebody from a pharma background, who has the best chance of getting into that college? Second, uh,
Who
who
will
should
benefit?
actually think of doing an MBA? Somebody, let's suppose, from an agriculture background. Do you think an MBA will help that person in getting better roles?
Yeah, if you're
Uh,
agriculture, you want to remain in agriculture, rural development, then maybe a rural management degree from IIM Ahmedabad or IRMA might help you. So you might want to do a sector specific MBA then. If you're very decided.
okay,
If you're not very decided about the industry you want to be and you are open to larger this thing canvas, then do a general MBA because it opens
right,
up all the fields. But
right,
if you're talking about who gets the maximum value, I think that was the starting question.
right,
So somebody, I mean, the ideal point to enter an MBA is 1 to 2 years, 1.5 2 years, 2.5 years of experience,
right,
because you'll get the maximum out of the course at that time. But unfortunately, you cannot plan it that way कि मेरा जब 2 साल experience होगा तभी जाऊँगा मैं, because you don't know when you can crack this competition and which year you can't do it. So the ideal way to do it is you should take your first attempt in the final year,
okay,
right? So if you're engineering, you start your first attempt should be in your seventh semester,
okay, okay.
right? And
So
your
is
preparation
it like
start
for
your preparation start from the fifth semester.
right,
End of fifth semester, your preparation start. So you're finishing. People who are in second, third year right now would have just finished or would be finishing the fifth semester now. So they should join now and prepare for the whole year.
right,
एक और misconception. I'm quite sure you'll ask me this question as we go on, but I'll also talk about this misconception. People talk about कि 4 महीने 5 महीने में हो जाता है कैट का प्रिपरेशन.
yeah,
तो 5 महीने में भैया एक राउंड होता है. You
correct,
have to plan 4 5 rounds of preparation when you're preparing, because I mean, even at my level, I get a 99.99 percentile kind of score. मैं भी अब बैठ के prepare कर सकता हूँ खुद के लिए, if I want to, and my score will go up. So there's some preparation even at when you start scoring 99.9 percentile. उसके बाद का भी एक preparation cycle होता है. तो
right,
तुम 50 percentile 70 percentile से start कर रहे हो, तो एक preparation cycle में तुम 70 से 90 पहुँचोगे.
right,
And since it's not, you can't measure it with a thermometer कि मेरे को एक चाहिए कि तीन चाहिए कि मेरा मेरा टेम्परेचर कितना है, तो hence you should err on the side of doing more, because this is your last degree. So
right,
what you should do is 7 semester first attempt, then the year you pass out, that year December, November, December second attempt, and you have to keep a timeline of 3 4 attempts.
right,
The ideal way to do it is you define कि okay, this is my college list. These are the 5 7 colleges I'm going to. These are my this thing. You look at the eligibility criteria. If you're eligible for it, then you have to look at कि मेरे को यहाँ जाना है.
right,
You create that shortlist, and then you say कि okay, 2022 pass out I am, so I'll enter MBA 2022 24, 23 25, or 24 26, or 25 27. ये
makes
4 साल
sense.
का पर्सपेक्टिव रखो, तब then you have the best chance of cracking the college you deserve.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right?
And sir, what advice would you give to somebody who's not good at taking exams, who's not good at scoring in exams? So I'm sure when I talked about this webinar to aspirants, they reached out to me कि यार सर से पूछना कि हम तो नहीं है टॉपर किसी भी मतलब स्कूल वूल में भी टॉपर नहीं रहे थे, एंड कैट में जनरली क्योंकि इट्स एन एप्टीट्यूड टेस्ट एंड quantitative and data interpretation इन सब पे काफ़ी focus रहता है. So many people who are not good in mathematics, they also want to know कि how to cope up with these situations. So what advice would you give to these people who don't feel that they can crack the exam?
Good you asked me that question, because This was my exact question to myself, and a lot of people were asking me this question. My mother was after my life when I started preparing for CAT. कि बेटा तुम पहले इंजीनियरिंग कर लो. She didn't have any great aspirations about me कि मैं कुछ करूँ कर पाऊँगा. तो पहले इंजीनियरिंग कर लो, दोनों चीज़ करोगे तो ये भी नहीं होगा, वो भी इधर भी फेल कर जाओगे. Right? And obviously that was on the basis of and my own apprehensions about my beliefs. I had never been a topper and all those things. So please remember one thing: these kind of exams are very different from your normal university exams. The skills they test are very different. That's one. So you might not have been a topper ever, but you might just be able to get that knack of cracking aptitude exams. That's one. The second is when you tell yourself कि मैं कभी topper नहीं रहा हूँ. When if I was to talk to that 20-year-old Arun Sharma, कि and he is thinking कि मैं तो कभी topper नहीं रहा हूँ, IIM से सिर्फ toppers जाते हैं and all those things and brilliant लोग जाते हैं. तो I would ask him कि तुम अगर topper नहीं रहे हो, तो क्या तुम्हारे कैपेबिलिटी में इशू है कि तुम्हारे एफर्ट में इशू रहा है? अपना बेस्ट दी हो क्या कभी? And frankly, in my first 21 years of my life through school and college, I had never given my best. राइट तो अगर मैं अपने रिजल्ट्स को टैग कर दूं कि मेरा रिजल्ट्स तो मेरा सेकंड क्लास आया है हमेशा, एंड दोज रिजल्ट्स आर अ फंक्शन ऑफ द परफॉर्मेंस आई हैव डन, नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ माय इंटेलिजेंस, लैक ऑफ इंटेलिजेंस. राइट, तुम करके तो देखो, अपना पूरा देके देखो. यू नेवर नो व्हाट विल हैपन. एंड दैट्स व्हाई आई सेड कि 3 साल 2-3 साल ट्राई करो, उसके बाद नहीं होता है तो देन यू कैन से कि ओके ठीक है, आई एम ओनली meant to go to a 92 percentile college. That's fine. And then you work from there. There's always a way up. एक एग्जाम में फेल कर जाओगे तो क्या अपनी लाइफ का कैरियर गोल्स चेंज कर दोगे क्या? हाँ, डोंट गिव एनी एग्जाम दैट पावर कि 2021 में नहीं हुआ मेरा तो 2030 में मैं कौन हूँ वो चेंज हो जाता है. डज नॉट. It'll affect you for 6 months, it'll affect you for a year, 2 years max, but it does not change who you are in 2030.
That was, that was quite moving. After listening to your talks, ना sir, even I want to take CAT right away. Like कि अब तो मैं CAT crack कर ही दूंगा यार, इतना motivation हो जाता.
Actually, it's actually a way of life. मतलब when मेरे को advantage मिल गया कि when I started teaching people for CAT etc. The advantage I got was I was a very, as I told you, I was a very mediocre performer through school and college. And then I realized during those my own struggle years कि the problem why I was having all those struggles was because I was not doing my best part or my best game. And then I made a commitment to myself कि अब से जो करोगे अच्छे से करो, नहीं तो मत करो. So that is my commitment to everything I do.
That is very, very important actually. To all the participants who are watching us live, do share your comments in the Q&A or the chat box. How important is to devote yourself completely to whatever you are going to do.
Yeah, and you start doing that, you'll see your results will change. Results अपने आप change. Nobody can stop you.
Be it your exam, be it your anything that
simple
you set your mind.
CAT में देख लो. Somebody asked me, I'll tell him कि 5,000 क्वेश्चन करना है अकाउंट्स में. तो अगर मैं उसकी जगह रहूँगा, माई करंट वर्जन ऑफ अरुण शर्मा, माई 18-year-old वर्जन वुड हैव सेड कि 3,000 में हो जाएगा क्या, बट माई करंट वर्जन विल से कि 10,000 कर लेता हूँ. उसने 5,000 बोला है. इफ आई बिलीव हिम तो आई विल डू 10,000. नाउ हु कैन स्टॉप यू फ्रॉम डूइंग 10,000 क्वेश्चंस? ओनली यू. Because 10,000 questions, what? 30 questions per day?
30 questions per day. Right?
In 300 days?
Correct.
Right? 350 days का preparation करता हूँ.
360.
30 questions per day. Who can stop you from doing 30 questions per day?
Correct.
Except yourself. And if you do that, your skills will automatically go up.
True. Absolutely. Great, sir. Great. So,
एक English में phrase है. Throw the kitchen sink at it. That means give it everything you've got.
Correct.
मतलब घर में उसका you know the meaning of that. घर में कोई आया है, कोई इंट्रूडर आया है, तो आप पहले चाकू फेंकोगे, ग्लास फेंकोगे, उठा के आप you will throw your plates and other things. So everything you have around yourself which you can throw, you throw it. And then still that guy is still around. So then you pick up the kitchen sink, you take it out and throw it at him. So that means giving it everything you've got.
Everything, right. Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
And unfortunately, we never do that. And the biggest tragedy of life is that we then assume that ये मेरा restrictions है. वो औकात बन जाती है. और वो औकात में ज़िंदगी खुद भी बिताना चाहते हैं, और देन अदर पीपल अराउंड यू विल ऑल्सो टेल यू औकात ऑल द टाइम.
Right. In fact, I also remember a similar story. There was an elephant and a pig. Both were when they were small. So the owner used to tie them up, elephant and pig together, and both elephant and pig, they could not, free themselves because
Yes.
they were small, and the rope was quite
Yes,
strong.
yes.
But then both grew up.
Yeah.
Pig grew to be a bigger pig, and elephant grew to be an
Yeah,
elephant.
obviously, and
But
he had the
then
power.
they have the same mindset
हाँ, कि
that
मेरे से नहीं
I
होता है.
cannot break this.
हाँ.
Yes. So
Very important, very inspirational story,
yes.
and so true. And we live our lives on that basis.
Correct. So everyone जो भी हमें live देख रहा है यार, please do not restrict yourself. Please do not set lower expectations for yourself.
It's a crime.
Always
It's
aim
a
for
crime.
high.
It's a
Yeah,
crime.
it's a crime. Always aim for high. Okay, so let's just look at the few questions that we have gotten in the Q&A section. One is from Atif. I'm currently a student of engineering from Jamia Millia Islamia, and I'm from Bihar. I found my English is a barrier for CAT, and I'm from state board student to, however, I was topper in CAT. So there isn't any question, but all I think he might be asking about,
The concern is language, right?
Yeah, how to go over with the English like proficiency.
So English में दो part है. The ability to speak also is also there. Right. So kid who's born today, आज दिल्ली में, मैं दिल्ली में बैठा हूँ, नोएडा में बैठा हूँ, तो you might be in Bangalore. There must have been kids born today there.
Right.
So by what age? 4 he'll be okay at English? 5?
Yeah, probably.
5 साल में वो आज जो बच्चा पैदा लिया है, 5 साल में इंग्लिश फ्लुएंट हो जाएगा.
बिल्कुल.
Right. So there's a process. There's a process for it. You have to follow the process.
Right.
और एक एग्जाम्पल में I give this example again in the form of story. Suppose आप एक बहुत घने जंगल में जा रहे हो, और आप जाते जाते you are trekking there, and then somebody there's another group who crosses you, and then they go ahead, they're going faster, you took a break, और कुछ देर बाद you come across this thing, a huge cliff.
Okay.
And there's no way to get on the other side of the cliff because it's 90 degrees. And then थोड़ी देर बाद आप you are just wondering कि क्या करना है. So then you see कि there's somebody standing on top of the cliff, and then you see कि those people had crossed me some time back. What do you realize? You realize there's a path.
Right.
It's about finding it.
Right.
तो अगर किसी का मतलब जो प्रॉब्लम ये बता रहे हैं बिहार से, what's his name?
Atif.
So Atif का जो problem है, that's a problem for 90% people who come from vernacular backgrounds. So has anybody ever solved this problem or not? And if one person has solved this problem कि मेरा इंग्लिश खराब था से इंग्लिश ठीक हो गया, तो it's a solvable problem. If nobody's ever solved it, तभी भी problem solve हो जाता है, लेकिन ये तो solved problem. So there's a path. So just find it. And the path, components of that path, basically, देखो कोई भी, when you're talking about language development, or even quants, there must be people who would be weak at quants and thinking about it. Whenever you're preparing, you have to have two parts to it. One is the taking in. Any exam you prepare for. One is the ingraining the knowledge or whatever you need to do. So language के लिए भी you first focus on taking it in. And you take language through two components. You either listen to it or you read it. So you initiate a process for 5 to 6 months where you are taking in language. Don't bother about giving out. Don't bother about कि RC का question है मैं solve कर पा रहा नहीं, because that's a giving out component. So 6 महीना अंदर लो knowledge language को, और maths को भी कर रहे हो तो 6 महीना take it in for 5 to 6 months. Of course maths will be slightly different because you also start solving immediately. But don't bother about things that you can't solve in the first 6 months at least. Allow them to happen. Recognize the fact that there will be a gap between how many questions you have tried and how many questions you have solved. That gap is natural. It should happen, because if that gap is not there, if it's zero, that means you are ready for the exam. Give it tomorrow.
Correct.
Right. So that is this thing. So allow that taking in time, or and give yourself that freedom to take in stuff properly, and keep raising the quality of what you're reading and what you're listening to.
Nice. Um, Sir, I'm from a B.Ed background. Will an MBA for good option for me? I mean, sir, would you like to answer? Somebody from B.Ed background, will an MBA for good option for him? Person who
Depends.
is in
देखो, MBA is not just about getting away from where you are. It's also about
MBA.
where you want to be 15 years from today,
Correct, correct.
right? So
I think we have already answered this question. I mean, it's up to you whether you want where you want to go
yeah,
and what you
and the
want
MBA should
from
be
your
the
life,
part to get there.
path to go
Yeah.
get there. Correct.
So make the MBA the part to get there.
Right, right. For main IIMs, how much weightage is given to the previous ACATs?
Huh?
So this
IIMs,
question,
some IIMs do it.
right,
This IIM Ahmedabad and Bangalore are very choosy about that because they can be. But then outside the top five seven colleges, even normal acads will do it. If you perform well at your GDPI at your CAT, you will have a great chance.
right, right. Okay. I think we don't have any remaining questions. See, people who are asking questions like SIBM versus Pune versus NMIM versus Mumbai. I think this is not the correct time to discuss these questions. Which college is best and which college is not best. Right now, this session is all about why you should go for an MBA and which exams you should target and how to go about the preparation journey. Okay, so if you talk about the preparation journey, I would just like to listen from sir, like sir, how a student should start his preparation for CAT, ZAT, and NET, and all these examinations. Since you also teach on Unacademy, I'm also senior manager in Unacademy. So I would highly recommend any student who's going for CAT, they should join Unacademy. So can you throw some light on what should be the preparation strategy for any particular CAT aspirant?
So first step is you have to create a plan of coverage of you first find out what are your portion components, and then
Okay.
create a plan of coverage for those components.
Okay.
Right, so quants may typically, if you look my book also, so I've broken it into 6 parts.
Right.
So you create a plan of maybe a 4 to 5 month plan of doing the first round on all those 6 parts. So first 5 months, I mean, again, when you talk in about cat prep, the ideal time frame for cat prep is around 11 to 12 months, because when you do that, because a lot of people will advise you कि 4 महीना बहुत होता है, but I don't think so, because what happens in cat prep is when you the first step is to complete all your portion and all the question types and go through that. So that is a 5 month process. And an academy pay, the best part is that you are not stuck to a teacher. You
Right.
come to Arun Sharma's class, you don't like how he's teaching, go to some other teacher. There's so many, this thing, it's like the Netflix. The remote control is completely in your hand of
Right.
education. So that's the first part. कि 5 महीना तुम्हारा पोर्शन कवरेज होगा. And then the second part of CAT prep is which ideally should happen, and it should not interfere with your portion coverage, because you should have covered your portion once before you go to the second part, which is your test taking and your testing this thing. So
Right.
testing ideally should be from May, June to November. Those 6 months should be focused on testing. What will happen in testing is that you will start seeing in your test that your scores are falling short of what you want them to be.
True.
Right? So let's say you want to score, just say salary CAT, you needed to score 100, 110 to get to the top IIMs. And in your mock test, if you have already prepared for 5 months and then you take the mock test, तो तुम्हारा स्कोर 80 आ रहा है और तुम बार बार दे रहे हो टेस्ट और 80 पे फंसा हुआ है, तो कैट में भी जाओगे तो 80 आएगा. तो देन यू आर नॉट हिटिंग योर परसेंटाइल टारगेट्स. तो वो उसके लिए यू नीड सम टाइम टू देन रिपेयर. देयर बी समथिंग गोइंग रॉन्ग इन योर सॉल्विंग, इन योर एबिलिटी, स्किल्स एंड परफॉर्मेंस बोथ में. You need some time frame for that. So ideally the best part is, I mean, since we are talking in December, of course अगर कोई मेरे पास जून में आता है तो I'll still give him a strategy कैसे करना चाहिए. लेकिन but heart to heart I'll tell you that this is the best time to start. December, January is the best time to start. And even for 22 aspirants, this is actually the best time to start, because what 22 aspirants get is you get a 1 year free prep. Free prep in the sense that it's like free hit. इसमें छक्का मारे आउट हो गए कि कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है.
Right.
Right, you get one year completely stress free prep, and by the time you finish off, and 1 year is good enough if you are even a decent learner from a 70 percentile, 60 70 percentile. That means that 80,000 rank 1 year preparation will definitely get you in the top 20,000. So then, or maybe if you're good, much better than that, top 5,000 में पहुंच जाओगे. तो then top 5,000 top 500 आने का next year का journey कर लेना.
Absolutely.
So even for 22 aspirant 2 years, I think Unacademy also has a 2 year subscription.
Right, we do.
So even for a 2 year subscription, it's a good point to start.
Correct, correct. On that note, guys, let me just quickly walk you through Unacademy, CAT platform. What all components do we have there, and you guys can just see, what are the various preparation tools that we provide at Unacademy. So if you log into Unacademy page, this is how the Unacademy website looks like. I've selected my goal as CAT, so that is why it's showing like this to me. And I do have an Academy CAT subscription. Okay, so if you just scroll down, this is basically all the classes and all the courses where I'm already enrolled in, and these are in continue learning. Okay, so I've watched these courses previously, so that is why it's showing me. These are the batches for syllabus completion. Okay, so these are full length batches. Let me just open all the batches for you. Okay, so there's an upcoming batch on 26th of December, for a weekend batch for this, and there's the Maharashtra CET batch for CAT 2020 2020 aspirants who just took the CAT. People who are starting CAT 2021, we have multiple batches. CAT 2021 starting on 28th. Arun Sharma's batch just started on 23rd of December, so go ahead and do join that batch. Similarly, we had one more batch starting that just started December 2021. So on this page, you will be able to see all the upcoming batches and the batches which are just started. Okay. So let me just go back to the previous page. Now this section is all the live classes that are happening right now. Okay, so there's a class happening on critical reasoning, there's class happening on percentage, special simple interest, compound interest, and profit loss. There's a class happening on OMITS, other management interest test, class happening on comprehensive course of vocabulary. So you can just click on any class and go watch it. So many of these classes would be a part of our Plus subscription, or if you want to experience the free classes, you can just go there. Free classes and test platform. So these are the free classes that you can enjoy even if you don't have any particular subscription. Okay, so set theory for ZAD, complete reasoning for OMATs, LRDA foundation for CAT 2021, and QA practice too. So if I just show it to you how a live class looks like, let me just open it for you. So this is a live class going on where there's a question, and on the right hand side you will see people are joining the class, and you can comment over here as well, and there's a poll going on. Okay, so this is how you can see any particular class, and if you want to be a part of batches, then you will have to go for the subscription. And as Arun Sharma sir said, there's a second component as well, which is a testing part. So there's a test series page as well. So these are all the major tests that are there on the Unacademy CAT platform. The free ones are the ones that you can experience even if you don't have the subscription. Okay, so please, if you're a serious aspirant for CAT, just go to Unacademy CAT and experience whatever value offering that Unacademy provides. Okay, now if you really want to join particular batch, because this is the right time to start, I would suggest you go ahead and buy the subscription. So these are the subscription prices for Unacademy CAT platform for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and 24 months. And to all those people, since we are doing this for campus internship program, so if you want to use a referral code such as UCI_Vishal, you can use any particular referral code. If let's suppose any particular intern contacted you for to get the Unacademy CAT subscription, you can use their referral code. Their referral code will also be something similar to UCI_something. Okay, then you'll get a 10% discount. Alright, so all I'm saying is, if you're a serious aspirant, as Arun Sharma rightly said, this is the right time to start preparing for CAT, even if you want to prepare for CAT 2021 or CAT 2022. Okay, so be focused and be consistent with your performance, and keep on checking where you stand by taking the test on regular basis. Okay, I'll take one or two more questions from the Q&A box. What is the perfect strategy for CAT repeaters? Sir, would you like to answer this?
Yeah, so if you're a CAT repeater, you should have reached a point where you already know what your key areas of strengths are. So you want to, I mean, ultimately, bottom line, it's commonsensical actually the answer. You want to increase the quality of your strengths. One, you want to make what is good into great. What are the grades you need to maintain at the grades? But
Right.
what are the average or above average? उनको good grade में लाना पड़ेगा तुमको. So you'll have to
Correct.
define a path. So let's say in maths one chapter is great for you, another is good. So you want to get the good to great, so you need to then put the practice. And practice basically means two things. Either you pick up more questions on that chapter and solve them. If you
Right.
solved one resource, then you pick up another resource and solve it for the second time on those chapters. Grades को ज़्यादा टच करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है because it will be a waste of time. एंड देन जो एवरेज अबव एवरेज बिलो एवरेज वाले एरियाज हैं उन पे रिपेयर प्लान्स करना पड़ेगा. सो लेट्स
Right.
से योर रिपीटर बट योर लैंग्वेज was pathetic during the first time. So then initiate a 1 year plan to change your language skills, right?
Yeah.
Initiate a very extensive reading plan, etc. And also very important for repeaters, because you might not have to give as much time as a fresh student. You have to take care of your profile
Right.
during this year. So you have to have a very strong reading plan,
Right.
or maybe a job plan if you are into a job, or maybe some courses, online courses which you can add to your profile in your biodata. So add these
Correct.
things, and that would together give you the jump you need.
Right. 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 Okay. Okay. Let me see if we have any. Do you think brand of a college really matters when pursuing an MBA?
See the brand. I mean, after a couple of years, 3 years, 2 3 years, the brand matters in the sense that if it as far as it's in the same band of college. So ABC, Excel, Jamnal, Bajaj, SPGen, MDI maybe does not matter between them. I'm Lucknow, Kozhikode. No, it does not matter because of course the great colleges will have a little bit more. They'll have a better placement
Correct.
opportunities there, but
Right.
long term it will not matter,
Uh,
right? But what where it matters more is more your peer group, and B school ka peer group is not only limited to the peer group. It is also it tracks you right through life, especially now with
correct.
WhatsApp and Telegram and all available. So it tracks you right through life, and suddenly, matlab, the best part of being from a great B school, if you go to a branded B school, is that there are going to be some great people there,
Right.
and they उनके achievements से you'll always keep getting that kick up your backside कि कुछ करना है life
True.
में, right? So that
That's
is
very well.
that is a very important aspect. So brand matters in that sense very much.
Correct. Correct.
So if I had done my MBA from Symbiosis, I would have been very successful by that this thing. 15, I mean, there would have been 5 people who would be more successful than me, but I would have been at the top of the heap. But because I'm B graduate, I'm still struggling to match up to what my other batchmates are doing.
Oh, I'm sure, sir. You're a rock star in your in your field. I'm sure.
No, but there
Uh,
are 100 rock stars in the batch. So what do I do? So you remember, you have to remember that you still have got a lot to do.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that is where the brand matters a lot. It
Right.
will not matter in terms of कि इस जॉब में जा रहा हूँ तो अहमदाबाद है कि कोझिकोड है, because 3 years down the line it's going to be what did you do in your last job and how did you do it and how well you performed, what is your performance, which
Correct.
industry you are in, वो सब मैटर करने लगा ज़्यादा.
Right. 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 Okay. So, sir, we have reached to the last bit of the session, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming and speaking to us today.
Yeah, it was a
Uh,
pleasure. It was a pleasure.
yeah, and I thank you all the participants who watched us live on Zoom and who are watching us live on YouTube as well. And it was a great session, and I'm sure everybody learned a lot from the Cat Guru himself. Thank you
Yeah,
so much, sir.
commit to
See
commit
you
to
soon.
excellence. My final message: commit to excellence and make sure that you do everything you do excellently from this point. You'll do well in
Yes.
life.
Great, great, great. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
sir.
Thank you so much. So I'm